Good morning, everyone. Thank you for tuning in to our first ever Stream and Learn. As you know, we had a lunch and learn schedule for today, but under the circumstances that we're all facing, we thought it'd be best to just do a Stream and Learn. This will be able to reach out a lot more people, most likely, than lunch and learn would have anyway. So I do feel like there's going to be a lot more value to this. What we're going to talk about today, obviously, we're going to talk about the benefits of working with EXP, but before we jump into that topic, I want to talk to you guys about how real estate agents can actually thrive when the recession comes or if a downturn comes. This is a talk that I did a few months ago, and I actually did it a few times because it was really well received. In that talk, I spoke to agents about, and agents and investors alike, how to pick out a downturn or a crash, and how can we obviously do well through those times instead of being scared and not thinking that there is an opportunity out there for us. I'm not sure how many people watching this have made it through the last recession in real estate. I know there's been a lot of people that have joined since then, but during the last recession it was a really scary time. I remember there was a moment when someone asked me, do you think that real estate prices will ever come down? And I was so naive at that time, and I responded to that person by saying, well, they're not making any more land, so real estate prices have to go up. And to a certain extent, that is true, but in the short term, anything can happen. Prices can go sideways, up, down, left, right. No one can tell. If anyone tells you what the prediction is, just like so many people predicted that this year was going to be a steady year, we don't know. Anything can happen. One of those things that can happen is called the black swan event. Kind of like what we're going through right now. The things that we're facing right now are never seen before, and these things cannot be predicted. That's why it's labeled a black swan event. Something like a terrorist attack or a pandemic that we're seeing, those are things that are going to change the climate of every industry that we know, including real estate. So what can you do as a real estate agent right now that is going to be able to help you down the road? I know right now a lot of agents are feeling frustrated because you can't really book any appointments because nobody wants to allow you to show their homes. Your buyers are telling you, hey, we're going to take a break. We're just going to hold off a little while and see how this thing blows over, and then we might go back and buy a house later. Or you might have deals that are under contract right now that you're praying for them not to fall apart. It's hanging on by a string. It's on life support. I'm hearing nightmare stories all over the place. I'm hearing municipalities can't do COs. I'm hearing title can't be ran. There's a lot of different things that are happening that are causing deals not to close. So what can you do in these times of uncertainty to make sure that you come out better on the other end? The biggest thing I'm going to tell you is that right now is the time to work on yourself. Work harder on yourself now and for the next few weeks, next few months than you ever have before. I'm talking about right now is the time where you're going to start to consume books, recordings, videos, trainings, anything and everything that you could possibly get your hands on, because you're going to have some downtime. And that's okay. We're all going to be in the same boat. You're not going to be at a disadvantage because you're not showing 6 homes a day, because you're not going on 3 listing appointments a day. Listen, we're all there. Everyone is feeling the pinch, myself included. My calendar has been wiped completely clean. There is really not much you can do right now as far as getting your normal business out there. Can you reach out to clients and keep in touch with them? Absolutely. Can you make new prospecting calls so you can plant seeds for when this thing is finally over? 100%. And actually, you should be there more for your clients now than you've ever been before. This is the time where you, as a real estate professional, could really stand out. You can make your mark on this industry. You can make your mark on your community. I made a video yesterday about how much more you could do for your neighbors and the people around you who need help now. And that's not that you're looking for something in return, but now is the time for you to put on your human being hat instead of your real estate agent hat and do what's right. Do what you would want done to you if you were in their position. I could go on and on and on for days about what the right thing to do is right now, but we're going to talk about what real estate agents can do right now. Now, there are some great books. Obviously, there are some awesome books that you can pick up right now. A couple of recommendations that I'll give you, obviously, is first things first is mindset books. You have to get yourself on stuff that it's going to really make you start to think differently. One of the people that I love following is Dean Graziosi. And Dean, actually, I was just listening to one of his trainings this morning, and Dean said that he made more money on the crash, the last real estate crash, than he ever made before, because he figured out a technique which allowed him to make money while real estate prices were going down. You know, the technique that he wrote about in his book, Millionaire Real Estate, Real Estate Millions, I think it's called. He spoke about how he taught countless people how to market. I'm sorry, not how to market, but how to wholesale properties. And obviously we all know what wholesaling is now, but at one point it was kind of like a new thing and it wasn't really that well understood. But he figured out that technique while people were scared to invest their own money. He figured out this way where you can actually go in there and make money without having to invest anything. And it made him and it made his readers a lot of money. But that book wouldn't have been worth anything to anyone if Dean didn't learn how to market. See, one thing we're all good at is we might be good at what we do. We might be good at selling homes. We might be good at listing homes. We might be great at being organized and having the best system. But how good are we at marketing? Right now, we're all going to be tested. We're all going to be tested because in a good economy, we all ride that wave. Everyone seems like they're a genius, and everyone seems to be the person that has figured it out. But right now, when things get hard, you're going to see who is really meant for this business. And the people that are meant for this business are the ones that are going to understand how to market themselves and how to take this crisis and utilize it to their advantage. You know, if it's going to happen, guys, if you're going to have time and you're going to learn that time can either be your worst enemy or it could be your best friend. Right now, we're going to have to figure out things that we've never learned how to do before. And if there isn't any way for us to be able to learn those things because it's not our specialty, then we need to find someone who is. We need to find someone in our circle or find someone that we could hire to help us with those weaknesses. And what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to tell you a quick story. I have a guy that does all my media, all my tech. The guy's awesome. Mike Giglio, he's an animal. This guy is amazing. I love all his work. But unfortunately, he's in real estate school right now. And he can't be here today. So what does that mean? That means that I had to get here early today and I had to set up all the cameras. I had to set up all the audio. And believe me, guys, this is not easy. The stuff that we do here, I mean, it looks pretty cool on camera, but it takes a lot of systems and tools and lighting and tech and sound and all these things. But these things will only come if you spend time learning about it. I didn't even know how to use a camera properly when I first started doing video recordings, but now we're pretty good. We have our game pretty tight, and thankfully I have someone here who helps me with that and always has it on point. But there's going to be times when that person's not there, and there's going to be times that you're going to have to learn it before you could delegate it. You know, there's a lot of things that Mike came well equipped with, and there's some things that I had to teach Mike how to do because I had to learn it because that's the kind of nature of my business. But I know we're only scratching the surface, so I'm going to take these next few weeks, next few months, and I'm going to really teach myself how to really excel at marketing. This is going to be one of the things that I'm really going to be passionate about. I'm not going to just do it one day and just forget about it. As a matter of fact, I have a very, very intense course that I bought from Tony Robbins and Dean Graziosi, and I'm actually going through that right now, and I'm really enjoying it. I know I'm going to learn a lot of stuff on there, and then I'm going to share it with you because that's what I do. I share it with the people that I care about. I share it with our community. I share it with our audience. And now more than ever, I know that people are thinking about working, virtually and being able to contact a massive amount of people through the power of just social media and networks like that. So today we're going to talk about how you can do that and how you can become a virtual real estate agent with the company that we've decided to join, EXP Realty. If this is the first time you've ever been introduced to EXP Realty, I'm going to go step by step and explain to you the process and the differences and the positives and some of the things that you may love and some of the things that you may not really care for or need for because you're probably doing well in other places that you're currently at. Or if you're brand new to real estate and you're thinking about, hey, is this a good place for me to go? Is this a good real estate company for a new agent? We're going to answer all those questions, and I welcome everyone also to ask away. And I'm going to do something a little different today. So what I've decided to do was we have a virtual cloud-based brokerage. What that means is that our brokerage is not necessarily a brick and mortar location. It's actually on the cloud. It's somewhere in cyberspace. So today I'm actually going to give you the presentation from our cloud-based brokerage. And that's going to be really cool because then I'm going to walk you around, I'm going to tour you around the place so you can see exactly what it looks like, how it is, and how you can also utilize it for conferences, how you can utilize it for training, how you can utilize it for anything and everything that you would normally do in a real estate agency. If you came to the office one day and you wanted help with your laptop, they can help you with that. If you wanted help with marketing, they can help you with that. And it's not something that I can really talk about and explain to you in great detail. It's something I'm going to have to show you. So I hope you stay tuned long enough to see exactly how that can benefit your business. And if you have your reservations about EXP, don't worry, I did too. It took me about 2 years before I actually gave EXP a solid look. It took me a long time before I actually thought this is a good fit for my company. A lot of it was ego. The other part of it was not giving it an opportunity, not really taking a deep dive into it so that way I could see how it could benefit my agency and my agents and my family and everyone around me. And granted, it's not going to be for everyone. I'm not going to tell you that this is the final silver bullet for real estate agents, but it is a really good solution for most people. It allows you to have a lot of things that are not offered anywhere else. Some of the highest real estate commissions, ownership options, and even revenue share. I know I'm talking probably another language to some of you guys, so I'm not going to bore you to death anymore. I'm going to go ahead and jump right into the presentation and show you exactly what I'm talking about. All right, so let's check it out. Sorry for the technical difficulties. Obviously, that's what you get when you shoot a live video. Next thing I want to talk to you about is the transaction management system, which is SkySlope. SkySlope will allow you to keep track of all your transactions throughout the entire process. What that means is that if you have a transaction and you don't know what to do next, it keeps you in line, it keeps you in check to make sure that everything gets done from A to Z. The next thing you're going to also be able to do with it is prepare your contracts and keep all your documents in one place so you can later access it at any time on the cloud. Since there is a cloud-based brokerage, once you upload those documents, they will be able to review them and let you know what is wrong with the file, if anything is wrong with it at all. Lastly, you're going to have a $25 broker review fee. The broker review fee is basically when they do compliance review on your file when it closes. Obviously, we need someone to do that to make sure you don't get in trouble later on. And you may ask yourself, what about the errors and omission? Well, the errors and omission is charged in a very, I feel, in a very fair and just way. You don't get charged for your E&O right up front. You only get charged as you close a transaction. So, for instance, if you close one deal, you get charged $40 for that transaction, and you have a cap of $500 for that year for errors and omission insurance. Okay, next thing I want to show you is a comparison of what EXP agents earn versus some of the higher tiered companies out there. I'm going to show you here that an agent that closes 30 transactions in a year, if that agent closes on average $300,000 homes at an average of 2.5% commission, that means the agent would have earned about $225,000 in gross commission that year. The split that I was offering agents prior to making a switch to EXP was an 80-20 split. The 80-20 split means that the agent would have left $45,000 behind to their brokerage, plus another $400 in errors and omission, means that the agent would have paid $45,400 to work there that year. In total, they're walking away with $179,600. EXP has offered the agents an 80-20 split with a $16,000 cap, which means that automatically you have $29,000 back in your pocket. You have $1,000 a month. I'm sorry, $1,000 a year in expenses, $1,020 to be exact. That's going to cover your KV Core, your SkySlope transaction management system, and all of the training. The EXP training is second to none. They have 10 to 20 live trainings per day, and this is all included in these expenses. Then you're going to have your $25 for the compliance review. That's $750 for the entire year. That agent would have earned $17,770. I'm sorry, that agent would have paid $17,770 to work at EXP versus the $45,000 that I would have been able to ask the agents to pay us previously. That means that the agents would have earned $207,230 versus the $179,600. But that's not the biggest difference. The biggest difference comes in when you add in all the bonuses that EXP Realty gives their agents. The bonuses come in the form of stock. The company is publicly traded on a NASDAQ, and the agents are going to be the ones benefiting from this, because when you close your first transaction, as you can see here on the screen, the company will reward you with $200 in company stock. When you cap, the company will give you an additional $400 in company stock. Then you have the stock buy-in program. The stock buy-in program will actually allow you to buy company stock with a 10% discount. That 10% discount equates to be about $1,125 a year. And then lastly, you have your $16,000 Icon Bonus Award. The Icon Bonus Award is awarded to anyone who closes 30 transactions, give or take, here in our marketplace. It'll actually give you back the entire $16,000 that you paid in. You'll get it all back in company stock. So once you tally everything up, an agent working with EXP who closes 30 transactions will actually walk away with $224,955 versus the $179,600 that I would have been able to offer them, which means that agent is almost getting 100% of their commission. If you look at the $225 versus the $224,955, it's just about the same number. When I saw this, I knew that I couldn't compete with this model, so I had to figure out a way to align our company with EXP, and that's exactly what we did. Now, the next slide I want to show you is how you can make money with revenue sharing. Revenue sharing is a concept that is not brand new, but they've actually made it better than what it is. So there's companies out there who offer profit sharing with 7 generations of income. Now, profit sharing to me is not that powerful, because profit sharing means that you'll share in the profits after all the expenses have been paid. So as you know, a real estate company has a lot of expenses. Profit sharing and revenue sharing come into effect when you're able to attract other agents to join your brokerage. If you attract, let's say, 5 agents, they join the brokerage. Whenever they close something, you can get paid. And what the beauty of these models is that when those agents also bring other agents, you can get paid on them. You can repeat this process 7 generations down. EXP has actually done something a little bit better. What they've done is that they've created a revenue share model, and the revenue share model will allow you to get paid on the top line, not the bottom line. So if a $10,000 commission comes in from one of the agents that you brought in, then you'll get paid off the top line. You don't get paid off of the profit, you get paid off the revenue. So this becomes more predictable, because you don't have to factor in any unknown expenses. The only expenses that you're going to have are obviously your own personal expenses for your own business, but nothing to do with the revenue sharing. So what I want to show you is that on tier number 1, you can earn about $2,800 on anyone that you bring into the organization. That's going to be when the person caps. You can make up to $2,800 on that person on level 1. But what's crazy is on level 2, which means the person that your recruit brings on, you can make up to $3,200. You can make money 7 generations down, like I mentioned earlier, and on tier 7, you can see that the number jumps up to $4,000. Now, you can unlock these tiers by bringing in more people. As you can see on the right-hand side, when you bring in over 5 people, you unlock level 2. When you bring in over 10 people, you unlock level 3. So on and so forth until you hit 40. 40 is going to be your magic number, and 40 is what's going to unlock all the levels for you. Next, I want to show you what it means for an average agent to bring in 1 person. If you attract 1 person to the company, and that agent only closes 6 transactions that year with a 2.5% commission and a $300,000 average sale price, you're going to earn about $1,500 off that agent. Now, the reason why that 1,500 number is important is because that number is going to cover most, if not all, of your expenses to be a real estate agent that year. It's going to cover your monthly dues, and it's going to cover your board dues. So if I bring in 1 agent and I don't have to pay for my third-party expenses to be an agent that year, that's a win-win. You're not only giving the agent the best place and atmosphere to work at, but you're also earning money so you can have some of your expenses offset. Next, I want to show you, what if you bring in 5 people, right? If you think to yourself, if you could do 1, why can't you do 5? So if you bring in 5 people will end up also growing the organization with or without you, because when you give somebody the opportunity to make revenue share, they're going to also go out there and attract other people. So eventually, your crew is going to bring in 1 person apiece, let's say. So the 5 people you initially brought in can easily turn into 35 people. And the revenue share can jump to $45,000. Now remember, that doesn't mean you can unlock the $45,000, but if you knew there was $45,000 worth of income waiting there for you, I think you would start growing your revenue group pretty quickly. And this is actually where it could end up. These are some numbers that I've taken from other people who have been in EXP for quite some time, 4 or 5 years, and this is what happens when you believe in something and you grow your organization, and then your organization starts to also blossom because of what you've done. So I met a person who brought in 40 people into the organization, and I know several people who've done 40 people, as a matter of fact. My sponsor is one of them. She has 600 people in her organization and growing by the day. But there's another gentleman who I met who actually had 40 people, and everyone that I speak to who has gotten to this level, they all can confirm that what happens on each level is that the numbers start to double on each generation. So every generation of your organization will soon start to grow exponentially until you start reaching the 7th level. The 7th level will kick in down the line probably after a year or two of being in the company, but then after a while it's going to be your fastest growing group out of all of them. If you bring in 40, that 40 is going to probably attract 2 people apiece. Some people will attract 10, 20. Some people won't attract anybody, and they'll just sell real estate. And that's fine too, because at the end of the day, that's what we are. We're a real estate company. We sell real estate. But what happens is the law of 80-20 kicks in. And what that means is out of every 10 people you get, 2 people will do just as much as you did. So on every level, it tends to double. And if you double that, you can see that the numbers start to add up very quickly. You can grow your organization as big as 5,000 people with 40 people in your first level. And you can make a lot of residual income. As you can see, this grew to a massive amount of money. There's people in this organization who are making $500,000 a month. And there's people who are crushing it every single day and living the lifestyle of their dreams. And it's all possible because of residual income. Now, the beauty of this model is that when you choose to retire one day, this money will still be coming in for you. And if you ever, not if you ever, but when we pass away, we can actually will this to our family. We can leave it in our will, we can leave it in our estate. So this is something that's very powerful, and it's not available for a lot of real estate brokers. I knew this was one of the reasons why I did it. It's because I knew it was the best place for my agents and my family. All right, let's move on to the next one. So I want to talk to you about how big and how much EXP has grown. EXP is about 10 years old. In the beginning, they started off with a small group of agents, and they rapidly have grown over the last 10 years. Right now, they've reached about 26,000 agents worldwide, most of them being in the United States, but now they've also branched out to other countries such as the UK, Australia, Canada, I think the Philippines pretty soon, and soon to be Latin America as well. So why is this important to you? The reason why it's so important is because now you can actually say that EXP, the company that you will work for, that you work for, is actually the largest brokerage in the world. The reason why they're the largest brokerage is because they're just one brokerage. They're not independently owned and operated branch offices. They're not regions. It's just one, it's just one company that represents the entire world. So 26,000 agents, it's more agents than any other brokers can claim to have. So that's something that you can legitimately say and be proud of that EXP has accomplished. So I want to talk a little bit about the CRM system that EXP offers. So the CRM that we have is a KV Core. KV Core allows you to be able to, I would say, scale and leverage your time. Because once you get good at something, the only next level to get to is automation. And you need to figure out how you can scale your business with automation and technology. So what I use KV Core for the most part is to have all my leads in there housed under KV Core. And I've set up drip campaigns, and drip campaigns are just a series of text messages and emails. They go out to our clients so that way we can stay in touch with them, even if they're not ready to buy or sell right now. They'll just get a message from me every so often, and then when they reply, then I follow up with a phone call. Why is this important? It's important because if you're adding 100 new leads a month, it's impossible to stay in contact with 100 leads every single month as you start to compound this over time. You're going to have thousands of people, and good luck keeping in touch with 1,000 people, 2,000 people. It's not going to happen. Best way to do this is literally by finding yourself a good CRM. Now, if you were to get the CRM yourself, it'd be about $650. I know because we had something very similar to this, and you don't have to worry about that a huge expense as a real estate agent now because EXP offers this as part of the package of being with EXP. It's something that most agents, when they hear the price associated to, they automatically say that this is a huge advantage for them because you don't have that huge budget when you're first starting off. Next thing I want to talk to you about now is how many leads we actually were able to get with, we're doing ads with KV Core. In just 50 days, we were able to generate 1,461 leads on Facebook. Amazing. Now these leads obviously are a lot cheaper than they would be anywhere else. The leads we're getting, we're averaging about $1.25 a lead. Now that is something that is truly remarkable and unheard of. Leads usually come in at $5 on a cheap end, but if you're going to go with big time companies like Zillow and Realtor.com, they can be as high as $100 to $300 a lead. In some areas, they don't even tell you how much it costs. You have to call in for a price. That's how expensive they can be. I'm not saying that those places don't offer any value, but if I'm getting leads at $1.25 that I could be getting at $100 somewhere else, I'd rather sink a lot more money into this, and it has helped us and it has kept our agents busy. Another thing I want to talk to you about that I'm very proud of is that EXP is the fastest growing real estate company ever. Not just this year, last year, I'm talking about ever. They've taken that honor, and not only that, but they're also one of the, if not the best real estate company to work for according to Glassdoor. Glassdoor surveys tons and tons of companies all over the United States, and it rates them for how good it is to work there. They give you a rating, and EXP is actually rated #1 place to work for as a real estate company. That's a huge honor, and we're not talking about just for the staff and its forward-thinking approach to having them all work from home and giving them great quality of life, but we're also talking about from the agent standpoint. There's a lot of support here for real estate agents, and there's a lot of help that you normally couldn't get anywhere else, just because sometimes the broker's too busy or the manager's not around, or they're having a bad day. This is a place where if you want to go somewhere and not have to worry about being ignored or not having enough support, this is where you need to be. They have a lot of other attributes that you can see on the screen. I'm not going to get into it all by one. I just want to give you a general idea so you can see that EXP is actually making big waves in the real estate industry. Next, I want to talk to you about the 5 different ways in which you can acquire stock from EXP. EXP stock today is a huge bargain. EXP is definitely positioned to be one of the biggest, if not the biggest, real estate company in the near future, and they offer their agents the ability to partake in ownership. The way they do that is, first of all, #1, you close your first deal every year, you get $200 in company stock. The next time you get stock would be when you cap. If you cap that year at $16,000 for the company, you get $400 in company stock. You can also buy the stock, like I mentioned earlier, when you close a transaction. This is an optional feature that you can turn on. If you decide to do that, they'll take 5% of anything you close, and they will buy stock with it for a 10% discount. Now, you don't have to do this. It's optional, like I mentioned earlier, but a lot of people are coming in from franchises. In the franchise world, you're used to paying anywhere between 6 to 8% for franchise fees, which really a lot of times don't feel like they're getting you anything. But if you're coming from that world, 5% of your commission being taken out to buy company stock may seem like a bargain, especially when you're getting it at 10%. So that's something to really take a look at if you're deciding to come on board. Then you also have the Icon Bonus Award. The Icon Bonus Award will give you the $16,000 in company stock that we spoke about earlier if you meet their requirements. They have a production requirement, which is in our area about 30 transactions, and you also have a cultural requirement, which requires you to teach a class and attend the shareholders seminar, which is something that you should be doing anyway, because if you care about your business, these are things that you need to do. And the 5th way of getting your company stock would be if you recruit someone or attract someone to the company. Once they close their first transaction, you'll also get $400 in company stock. So those are great milestones for you to hit. And I say that because I know agents who are doing tremendously well at other companies, and from time to time they may boast about becoming the top selling agent that quarter or that year. And what do they get for it? They get a little fancy plaque, or they get some kind of a certificate that they can put on the wall. That really is not going to do anything for you but clutter up your house. But EXP is rewarding their agents with stock, and in my opinion, very valuable stock. I'd rather take that any day of the week. Give me ownership instead of giving me a piece of paper. If you really want to retain me as an agent that bad, make me your partner. That's what EXP figured out, and that's why they're winning and they're growing so fast. We're one brokerage. We're not a franchise. I mentioned this a little bit earlier. We're one brokerage across the world. Why that's important for us to understand is because we're all connected. Every real estate agent that works for EXP is a partner with each other. So if I met someone from Florida, Texas, California, Oregon, anywhere, those are my colleagues. Those are people that I am affiliated with, not just by brand, but we're actually working for the same brokerage. We don't have a different broker, even though there's obviously state brokers, but we all have the same umbrella which we all work for. We work for the same company, which makes us partners. Why that's important is because when I meet someone in the world, the EXP world, it's our virtual office place. And let me give you an example. I met a lady from Tennessee. We shared a lot of personal information on how we're doing in the business. And normally, if I met an agent who worked for my company who we weren't affiliated with, let's say like a Coldwell Banker or maybe a Remax or something, and we weren't affiliated by the same office, I really probably wouldn't be sharing that much information with them because it really wouldn't benefit me if they did well, if they failed, at either or somewhere in the middle. But the fact that we all are connected, and if I help them do better, the stock does better, and we start to replicate these same fundamentals throughout the entire company, now we have a great culture. We've created now an environment where we all care about each other and we're all giving each other great knowledge. You can see this a lot by the trainings that we have, which are taught by our top producers. We have a segment called iConversations. These are agents that are crushing it, closing hundreds and hundreds of deals a year, and they're giving you their tips, they're giving you their advice, they're telling you how to wake up and what they do throughout the day. These are the things that really excited me because working in an office, no matter how big it is, you may have 100, 200 people, 300 people in your office, you're never going to learn as much as you would when you have access to 26,000, 50,000 one day, 100,000, a million agents. Who knows where the company is going to be in a few years, but I'd rather get as much information from a wider group of people than just from a smaller group that I feel like I can only get from within my four walls. Next, I want to show you the EXP world. What is the EXP world? I'm going to show you this quick video, but then I'm also going to walk you through EXP world a little bit later. So let's see if I can get this video to play.
A world once disconnected by distance. From impossible to possible. The elite, now the common. The lonely, now united. Now imagine a world created for connection. Welcome to our world. EXP World.
Welcome to EXP World.
EXP, created for connection.
Okay, that's the EXP world. I hope that you guys were able to hear that. I didn't have audio on my side, but again, that's the beauty of live streaming. Now I want to talk to you about why EXP is such a game changer and what it's done for the industry, how we can compare it to other similar industries that we all know about. So everyone knows who Blockbuster Video is. It was one of the biggest places that anyone would even think of when you mentioned rentals or video rentals. Every Friday night and Saturday night they'd be jam-packed, and there'd be people in there fighting over the last copy of, I don't know, Final Destination or something. Who knows, right? So Blockbuster Video actually had the opportunity to buy Netflix at one point for $50 million. But they turned it down because they felt that they had everything they needed. They didn't believe in change. They didn't think people were going to go to streaming. They were making enough money. They were making too much money on fines and fees and all these other things. They just had a great business model according to them. And they were worth a lot of money. They were worth about $8 billion at one point. And they said they didn't need Netflix. Well, guess what happened? Netflix pulled the rug right from under them. You know this because we've all lived through this. I remember when Netflix was a mail-away service and we had to mail away for CDs. And then it became streaming. And now it's probably the #1 streaming service everywhere in the world or all over the world. And now they're worth way more money than Blockbuster was ever worth. Worth probably 10, 20 times as much money. So why am I telling you this? Because that's where the industries usually go. They go where it suits the consumer best, where the consumer finds more value, and where it's ease of use, where they can just tune in instead of having to drive to get a DVD or return a DVD. Again with Circuit City. Most recently, Modell's. Modell's last week closed their doors after being open for almost 100 years. I don't even know how Modell's has been open, but it seems like forever. I remember going to Modell's when I was a kid just to, buy wrestling shoes and basketballs and all this stuff. But now it seems that every brick and mortar retail store is in competition with a company named Amazon, which I remember at one point when Amazon came out, I had no idea what the hell they were. I'm like, Amazon? Why would you name your company Amazon? That's just weird. It's strange. But now when you think Amazon, you think everything. You think it's the online retailer where you can find any widget, so you can also get your groceries. You get anything on Amazon. But the problem with Amazon is that they're so big that they're consuming every other little guy because, again, they've created such a great environment for the user. It's so easy to now just go and click and have something on your doorstep by the afternoon or by tomorrow. So no one can compete with this kind of model. And not only that, but the brick and mortar has so much overhead and so much expense that when you start to do the accounting on things like that, they can't compete anyway. Netflix and Amazon are both companies that were initiated mostly to be cloud-based or to be on the internet or to be web-based. And they don't really need retail centers and locations like these other places did. And that's what really made them stand out. And that's what the future is. The future is the internet. And so now I want to compare this to traditional real estate brokerages. As you know, traditional real estate brokerages forever been brick and mortar. Downtown locations, huge operations, a lot of expenses, cleaning ladies, constant renovations, and just about every other expense you could think of. Now, where EXP has actually turned that model upside down is that they don't need any of that. They've created this beautiful campus where you can walk around and you can pretty much do anything that you would have normally been able to do in your office, virtually, online. You can hold meetings. You can do pretty much everything and anything. And that's where the future of real estate is. You can pay real estate agents more money. You can give them revenue share. You can give them stock ownership. There's so many things that EXP can do that other real estate companies can't, because if they tried to, they'd be putting themselves out of business. You know you've got a good model when other real estate companies try to, in effect, do the same thing that you're doing. I see a lot of startups and I see a lot of companies that are coming out of woodworks now that are trying to replicate EXP's model. And that's the most sincere form of flattery, is trying to replicate something that you're doing and copying your system. But I'll tell you what, EXP does have 10 years ahead of everyone else. And it seems to me like they're doing great stuff. The agents love it. You got to see what people are saying about EXP. Just go ahead into YouTube and type in EXP Explain, just about anything EXP related, and you can see that agents are going here in droves. And obviously there's always going to be fallout because naturally real estate has a high attrition rate. But I'm telling you, if you are looking for a place to work for that is going to over-deliver, EXP is that place. I've been doing this just about 17, 18 years now, and I'm telling you, I've never seen anything like this. And I will pride myself on telling you that I do believe that I am very forward-thinking, and this company is the most forward-thinking company that I've ever seen in real estate, from their technology all the way to their compensation structures. Now, I invite you to ask questions if you have any questions at all. If you want to know how you can get involved into EXP. If you want to know more about revenue share or just about anything else, I invite anyone to ask me questions. I will go in and answer all your questions. Maybe not right now, maybe not this second, but I will get in there and respond to your questions, whether you're watching this on YouTube or if you're watching this on Facebook. I will go in there, and I apologize about the technical difficulties in the beginning. If you had a hard time hearing, please just let me know if you want me to expand on anything else. But in the meantime, what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk you around the EXP office. I'm going to walk you around our suite so you can see exactly what it would look like. I know a lot of people right now are hibernating their home, or they're working remotely from somewhere. And right now would be a really cool time to actually be able to access your office through the cloud and be in a virtual office where you can still communicate with your colleagues and not worry about spreading any germs or diseases. And you can do everything that you normally would have done. For a lot of real estate agents in EXP, they haven't really felt much of a difference because they've been working this way for years. I know that right now is going to be a time where people are going to start taking a deeper look at EXP because of its virtual capabilities. I know that on the other end, the Virbela company that EXP owns, Virbela is the company that created the world and the software that powers it. They're being featured all over the place now because now colleges and schools and businesses are looking at using the Virbela software to actually house their office virtually. So this is now becoming the way of the future. So I do want to walk you around now and show you exactly what our office looks like. All right. So as you can see here, I'm using Joelle's avatar. If I wanted to display anything on any one of these screens, I can do that. I'm just going to tour you around the office place right now. This is our boardroom. Here's a little lobby, little hangout area. These are computers that our agents can use. They can literally sit at one of these computers and use it just like it was their own computer. They can go on here and search anything that they normally would have been able to search anywhere else. They just can go in here and change the, let's just say they want to find a home. Let's say they want to find a home in Clark, New Jersey. They can use it that way. They can also use it in a capability of a regular computer. They can use it to go anywhere, into their email, into just about everything and anything that they wanted to use. The reason why that's cool is because if you're using your computer here and someone walks over to you in the virtual place and says, "Hey, what's going on, Louis?" you can basically have a conversation with them like you did normally in your regular office place. There's also a lot of cool places here where you can actually just sit and chill, leave your avatar idle. If you wanted to have a private little gathering, you could do it in one of our 18 offices. We have 18 private offices. You could also request using the meeting rooms. You could request using the boardroom, so you can have meetings with your clients. You can have virtual home buyer seminars. You could do just about everything and anything you would have been able to do in any other office, and even more than you could have done in any other office. So we do have a lot of offices available if you want to come in and check it out and see if you want to call one of these little spaces your own and test it out for the day. If you're interested in getting a guest pass, please let me know. Send me your information and I'll get in touch with you so I can send you a guest pass to tour the EXP world. I just want to see if I can show you really quickly what our welcome area looks like. I'm going to teleport over there right now. So this is our welcome area, as you can see. It's a campus just like you would be at a college. You can go to a training, you can go to a tech support, you can go just about anywhere. The auditorium is our training facility. I can run over there if I want. Let's go see if maybe they have a training going on right now. Sorry for the lag, guys. I got a little bit of a
We
slow
do get
connection.
sick. We are
As you can
not
see, they have a
severely
training
sick
going
and
on right at
requiring
this minute. If I
hospitalization.
wanted to get
So
a closer
download
seat,
a
I could
fitness
just go
app,
down there
make your home workouts count.
get a
I was
closer seat for
training to
myself.
summit Mount
And
Hood,
I'm
and
all
I
the way
would
in the
use
back.
gallons of
If I want to
water
stay back here
in my
and be an
hiking pack to
introvert, I
simulate
can.
elevation.
If I wanted to have
So
a
get your
skybox
home
view, I
workouts
can
in.
also stay
They
up here at the
matter.
top.
Number
Or if I
32,
wanted to go all the way
learn to
down, I
knit
can do that as well.
or learn to putt.
I would just grab a
Both
seat
four-letter
anywhere
words
I
I
want.
found suitable for work. Number 31,
And
ladies
then
are not
if
going
I
to like
want to
this
tune
one.
in or listen in on
Clean
what the
out
speaker's
your
saying,
closet.
I can hear it
Even the,
clear as day.
but
if
I might
was
need it for a
in there
costume
myself,
party
if not better.
section.
And I can
Hashtag
just zoom in
donate.
on what she's showing us.
Number
And it's
30,
almost like being in an
duct
auditorium.
tape
It's the next
projects.
best thing.
No, really.
So this
There's
is
a book
really
called
cool
The
stuff.
Kid's Guide to
Just
Duct
want to
Tape.
take you
It
real
is
quick back to
pretty
the
neat.
welcome area.
Number
And we'll
29.
sign off there. There's major colleges that have already taken the EXP software or the Verbella software and now using it for their own colleges, which is a sign of the times. That's a really good thing for most colleges because that eliminates a lot of the commuting costs and a lot of the actual costs associated to being a college student. And now I see also a lot of other companies also doing it for their own staff. So what I'm doing now is I'm just showing you around. If you wanted to go on a boat ride, which may seem kind of corny, why would anyone do that? But you can actually jump on a boat here with someone, maybe with this person here, and then you can just get to know each other and figure out, hey, listen, what is it that you do and how do you do it and how have you closed so many deals? Let's go ahead and just network and go out for a boat ride together. Or if you wanted to just sit and talk, you can just sit and talk and go to one of these little spots up here and just hang out. Pretty awesome. And you don't have to spend any money on coffee. You can just hang out here and look at the rainbow and look at the green ocean because I guess it was St. Patrick's Day the other day, so that's why they did that. Okay, so if you have any questions, please don't forget, ask them. If you have someone who you think might be interested in EXP, please feel free to share this video with them. At the same time, if you are interested in taking the next steps, what you would have to do is fill out an application with the EXP. We'll provide you with a link to do that. And if you decide to come on board, EXP will give you a green light, and then you can go ahead and tell your broker to release your license, and then you can actually come on. If you're a brand new agent, you have to wait for the application to be approved, and then you can schedule a time to sit with the broker or actually have a virtual meeting with the broker. Things are getting done a little bit differently now, obviously, because the times have changed a lot. So that's the way we're going to have to work for the time being. Remember, guys, everybody is given the same opportunity. Everyone comes in with the same splits. I've never seen a company that actually offers that to their agents. Whether you're brand new in the business or you've been doing it for 20 years, they're going to treat you the same, which is, you know, that in itself is definitely a game changer. So thank you, and I appreciate everybody watching. Check you next time, and have a great day.